Hello, welcome to Political Science 131. My name is Dr. Eric Rader. I am your instructor for this class this semester. So as you know, this is a 100% online class. That means all of the assignments, exams, and all of the other work for this class will be done online. At Henry Ford College, we use a system called Moodle. Sometimes you may hear it also referred to as HFC Online. Usually I'll refer to it as Moodle in communications with you. But in any event, that is the system we use, and hopefully you're navigating the site. If you're watching this video right now, that means you've already logged into it. But please let me know if you have any questions about the site. So all of the weekly assignments will be posted on the Moodle site, and they will be listed by date. And in each, we have essentially 8 weeks in this short semester. So there will be a packet or a folder for each week of the semester. And I will always date them by whatever week we are in. The weeks begin on Monday and they end the following Sunday. With the exception of the first week, and the first week of the semester, we are beginning on Thursday, and then that will continue through the entire following week, and then end 10 days later on that Sunday. So the first week is a little bit longer, and then all of the other weeks are Monday to Sunday. So look for a new packet every Monday morning. Usually I try to get them online by 9 o'clock, but most of the time they're going to be on there earlier than that. Now, in terms of what you have each week, it's very important that you look at the syllabus. The syllabus is now available on the website, on the Moodle site, and so you can download the syllabus. It's in Word format. If you need it in another format, if you're not able to open a Microsoft document, let me know, because it is important that you are able to read and view the syllabus, because it contains all of the information you need to know about this class. Also, during the first week of the semester, you are going to be taking a quiz about the syllabus, so you want to be able to have a copy of it when you take that quiz. So in terms of some things you need to know about the class, first of all, it's the best way to reach me right now is by email, and my email address is listed in the syllabus. Secondly, if you need to leave a voicemail for me, you can do so at the phone number that is listed in the syllabus. Now, I'm not on campus right now because of the COVID pandemic, but I am able to retrieve voicemails. In fact, the voicemails that are left for me at my office are actually transferred to my email, so I get them right away. So certainly if you need to leave a voicemail, you can do that. I am available to meet anytime that's convenient for both of us via Zoom. I do have a Zoom account that I use for face-to-face meetings with students, and we can set that up, and I would give you the link for that. I do have scheduled office hours for my other classes on Tuesday and Thursday, but I'm available anytime that I'm not teaching or don't have a meeting. I'm available to meet with students, but you would need to notify me by email or leave a voicemail asking to set up an appointment, and we would do that, and we would have a set time for that appointment. If you can also do that via phone. There is a phone option on Zoom. And so I could also send you a phone number if you wanted to call in rather than log in. But in any event, I want to be available to students. I think it's important. It's a requirement, really, that we be available to you. But I think it's very important that I answer any questions you have. Things do come up, and sometimes a face-to-face or a phone conversation is important. And so I'm always glad to meet with students anytime that works out. In terms of the requirements for the class, this is a short semester. It's only 8 weeks. The full semester would be 16 weeks. So we obviously are condensing a lot of material into a short amount of time. It's essentially double the number of topics that we would be covering per week in a regular semester, because, again, 16 weeks into 8. So that essentially means in the regular semester I would be covering roughly about 15 or so topics each through the semester, one a week or so with the final exam. So in this class it's going to be 2 topics per week with the final exam at the end. So it is important that you are, again, doing the work, keeping up with it. The work includes reading the assigned chapters, and you should have a textbook for the class. The textbook is called American Government and Politics Today Brief Edition. It was published in 2018, and the information on the book is in the syllabus, and it's also in the email that I sent to you. You do not have to purchase a physical copy of the book. You can certainly obtain an electronic version of it. In fact, that may be an advantage because this is an online class, but it is something that you need to get. You can buy it, you can rent it. There are a lot of different options for the book. Rental would be the cheapest. I think it runs between 25 and 30 bucks if you rent it in electronic format, and then obviously you would have access to it for the rest of the semester. But it is very important because, in particular, because we don't have regular lectures. I will be posting videos like this, YouTube videos on the topics, but we will not obviously be meeting in any other format. We don't meet on Zoom other than for office hours. So it's important that you are keeping up with the reading because the reading is the foundation of the work that you're doing each week. And there is a lot of reading. Now, the reality is the chapters are not that long. They're actually maybe 20-25 pages total. But it is important that you keep up with it. And I will say that on the exams that you're going to be taking, the questions are very much focused on the content of the reading. So it is important that you're very familiar with what you've read. You might want to take notes. In fact, I strongly recommend that you take notes while you're reading. It's something I did as a student when I was an undergraduate in political science, and it's something I always recommend to my students, particularly because, again, we're not going to be meeting in a regular one-on-one or class format. We're meeting, everything is virtual. So I think it's very important that you take good notes as you're doing the reading so you can highlight important topics and then be familiar with those topics when you take the exams. There will be several exams throughout the semester, and they are equally weighted, and information on the exams can be found in the syllabus. They are online. They will be multiple choice questions, and each student gets a different selection of questions, but they cover the same basic topics. At the end of every exam is time limited, so you want to make sure you observe the time limit so that you don't go over, because if you reach the time limit and you haven't finished answering your questions, the Moodle system will automatically submit your exam even if you haven't answered all the questions. So you want to be sure that you monitor your time so that you can answer them all in the time allotted. The time limits are listed in the syllabus and also will be a part of the instructions. And the reason for a time limit is that just like in an in-person class, I can't allow unlimited time. Obviously, I mean, you just would be looking up every answer and so forth. Now, I understand that you may have your book with you while you're taking it. I'm not saying that it's not that you can't have your book with you, but the time limit is that you really should be familiar with the material before you take the exam. But occasionally you may have to reference the book for an answer here and there. But please don't count on being able to look up every answer because you're going to run out of time. But I do give you ample time. The amount of time that I'm giving is enough to be able to answer the questions on the exam in a reasonable amount of time. You also will have several other assignments. You will have discussion boards where you will be responding to a question that I post, and then after you've done that, you will then respond to another student's comment on that post. You will not be able to see the other posts until you have posted your own. So the idea is that you're responding directly to the question that I have submitted, and then it usually takes about 5 or 10 minutes after you've submitted your response before you can see the other responses, and then you'll respond to someone else. Please don't wait until the end of the week to do this assignment because you will lose points. All posts, your initial response to the question, your own response needs to be posted by Thursday at 5 p.m. If it's not posted by Thursday at 5 p.m., then you will lose 3 points on the assignment. And then all of your posts, both of your posts, I guess, should be submitted by Sunday at 5 p.m. Be aware that if you wait until the last minute, you won't be able to respond to other students' posts. So keep track of that so that you don't lose points on that assignment. And also make sure your posts are the appropriate length as indicated in the syllabus. You will also have several critical thinking essays that you'll be writing. And those are basically longer form answers where I will post a question to you, and then you will respond in approximately 400 words, essentially in an essay format, your response to the question. And the question really will usually have several parts to it, and you want to make sure you're addressing all the parts of the question. The critical thinking questions will be spaced out several times during the semester, so make sure you pay attention to when those are due. A couple other things I wanted to mention. One is that academic honesty is very important. That means that you need to do your own work. You cannot be copying other people's answers. You can't be plagiarizing. You can't be cheating. All of those will be grounds for penalties and possibly failure of the course. And the penalties are outlined in the syllabus. With regard to plagiarism, because I think it's certainly a major issue in higher education these days, you want to make sure that your answers to any question, whether it's a discussion board or critical thinking, is your own. You really don't need to use outside sources for any of the assignments in this class, particularly for the discussion boards, because the discussion boards are more informal, where you're responding to a question, giving your opinion, and then responding to your classmates. But sometimes in the critical thinking, people do like to look up some of the information that they want to use in their essay. If you do that, and you really don't have to do that because the information you need for those questions is in the book, but if you choose to research outside websites, first of all, you want to be careful about what the site is. Some sites that are out there are designed for to help students cheat, particularly in the sites that require you pay money. If you have to pay money for something, then that's not legitimate for this class. But secondly, sometimes you'll get information off a site, but if you're including it in the essay, you need to tell me where you got that information, because if it's not information or they're not ideas that you already knew, then you have to tell me where you got that. If you don't tell me where you got it, that's plagiarism. Plagiarism is taking someone else's ideas or thoughts and presenting them as your own. And sometimes people think that if you change the words around, that it somehow makes it not plagiarism. No, if the ideas that you're presenting are someone else's, then it doesn't matter how you phrase it. You could change all of the words, but if the ideas are not your own, and you don't tell me where you got those ideas, then that is plagiarism and would be grounds for failure. So just the easiest way to avoid that is just not to use a lot of outside sources. But if you are using outside sources, be very careful that you include your source information. On the critical thinking questions, there will be an option for comments, and in the comment box, that's where you would list any of your sources, because there is a word limit to the essays as well. So just be very careful about that. I have had to flunk students for this. It's not something I like, but it is something that I enforce, and students that I've had in the past can tell you that. If you flunk 2 classes at Henry Ford College for reasons of academic dishonesty, you're not allowed to enroll for a period of 2 years. So it is something we take very seriously. I believe very strongly that students should do their own work. I can tell you that when I was a student a number of years ago, I can honestly say I never cheated, I never plagiarized. It's something that I took seriously as a student, and I expect you to as well. There's just no reason to do it, and it doesn't get you very far. And the reality is that I've been teaching this particular class for almost 25 years at different colleges, including here at Henry Ford. And I can tell when somebody has likely plagiarized, and it's very easy for me to find it. So just do your own work. That's all you need to do, and you won't have to worry about that penalty. Okay? If you have any questions about anything, again, please email me, leave me a voicemail. I'm always glad to respond. I want you to do well in this class. I don't want to see any student fail. I'd be glad if every student got an A, because that would mean that you understood the material and that you've been successful in this class. So that's something I would be glad to see. But it's important that you are doing the work, and that you, again, I know a lot of things are going on right now. People have worries, a lot of concerns, but it's just important that you are staying up with the work. Again, we have just a short amount of time, 8 weeks, to get all of this done. So you want to make sure that you are fulfilling the requirements and doing the work you need to do. So please set aside time each week to do the work you need to do, whether it's the reading or the written assignments. Be mindful of the due dates, so that you need, if there's a discussion board, and there will be one, I think pretty much every week. If there's a discussion board, make sure you're submitting your first response by 5 p.m. on Thursday, and that you will always have assignments due by 5 p.m. on Sunday. So make sure you're monitoring those times. I will say the exams that you're going to take, as well as the syllabus quiz, I'm giving you a little bit of extra time on those. Those won't be due until 11:59 p.m. on the dates that they're due. And I just want to give you extra time to answer or to finish those if you need it. So assignments are due at 5 p.m. on the dates they're due. Exams and quizzes are due at 11:59 p.m., just before midnight on the day they're due. I do want to mention that most of the time, there will almost always be a discussion board. I think there is one every week, but critical thinking questions are spaced out through the semester. And also the second exam, which will be in November, the timing of that's a little bit different, because that's the week of Thanksgiving, and I didn't want to give you an exam over the Thanksgiving weekend. So I actually am opening that on the Monday after Thanksgiving, and then it will stay open till that Thursday. So the timing of that is a little bit different. Hopefully that makes sense. So your first exam is going to open on a Thursday and close on the following Sunday. The second exam is going to open on Monday, right after Thanksgiving, and close that Thursday. So that'll be a little bit different week, but I just didn't want to make an exam. I didn't want you to have to think about an exam over the Thanksgiving break. You will still have a written assignment due that weekend, but you will not have an exam, but the exam will open that Monday. So, and I'll send out an email reminder about that, so that you understand that again. So I know there's a lot in here, but I wanted to kind of introduce myself. I know we won't have a chance to meet in person unless we have a Zoom session with each other. I'm really looking forward to this semester. Again, a lot of things going on. I'm sorry we won't be on campus together, but I do enjoy this class. I enjoy the students. I've been teaching online long before we were dealing with COVID. I've been teaching online for over 10 years. And so this is the format I enjoy. The one downside is I don't often get to meet my students in person, but certainly stay in contact with me. If something comes up, you can't finish an assignment for a week, or something is going on in your life, let me know. I'm always glad to work with students, but if I don't hear from you, and like a student has a late assignment but I haven't heard from them, I have to take points off. So if you stay in touch with me, I can be aware of what's going on, and possibly if it makes sense, I can accommodate whatever's going on. So anyway, that's a lot to say. Have a great start of the semester, and contact me with any questions. Take care.